When we think of long takes, I imagine this is what comes to mind for most people: set pieces. Self-contained episodes of drama or exposition, elaborately staged with complex interactions between camera, actors, and location. But what happens if you want to shoot your entire film in this manner?
It appears to have been done all in a single camera shot. The entire film is done with no edits.
You say it appears to have been done.
I mean, there are, without unpacking it, there are interesting tricks of different types within that.
There are cuts hidden throughout, so that the film is in fact a series of long takes, as opposed to just one. A nonetheless impressive feat. But the question then becomes, how do you approach those less ostentatious sequences? Those moments of drama that rely not on story information, but on the interplay between character.
Truth or dare?
You would think the obvious place to start would be to see how Hitchcock did it in Rome, a film that, like Birdman, purports to be one single take. But Birdman's director, Alejandro G. Iñárritu, doesn't think that Rome has much to recommend it.
That's all we've done. That's all Philip and I have
Rather,
done.
he claims to have been more inspired by the great Max Ophüls, filmmaker famed for the elegance of his camera movement and pronounced use of long takes.
Max Ophüls' camera is something that people have talked about. Kubrick described it as something that floats through walls.
So let's take him up on this and see how Birdman's use of long takes compares with those of the undisputed master of this technique. Both filmmakers tend to shoot in a style that is called plan séquence, that is, a sequence shot. A scene is approached as if it were being filmed conventionally, but instead of cutting, the camera moves between the setups. So that we start with one shot, from which we move into the next, and then onto the third, and so forth and so on. There's a lot of appeal in shooting this way.
It pushed us to develop another way of seeing and execute scenes. In the conventional way, I will say that films tend to, in a way, establish a very artificial order of the scenes, and the way we cover now, like the wide shot, the two shot, the over the shoulder, the clean close-up, in a way it's conventional, and it can be very safe, and you can be a little lazy.
Wait, let's go over that again.
The wide shot, the two shot, the over the shoulder, the clean close-up, in a way it's conventional.
Oh, no.
My thoughts exactly. Despite Iñárritu's claims to the contrary, Birdman is built around a very standard use of film grammar. Case in point, if you remove the camera whips from this scene, you can see it is a conventionally conceived sequence. Medium two-shot juxtaposed with a close-up reverse. The contrast between the extreme close-up and the medium works as would be expected, favouring Riggin and giving him priority within the scene. Scenes such as these are a prime example of plan sequence in action, with the movement of the camera essentially doing the work of a cut. But let's think about that. If we are just replacing cuts with whips, what do we gain from this? The director doesn't just direct the action, but also the audience's attention. An uninterrupted take can be used in a subtler way, to dictate what the audience focuses on within a scene. Take this sequence from La Ronde. Though we start here with both figures having roughly equal status, the movement of the soldier takes precedence over and draws our attention away from the woman getting into bed. He is now the primary figure. But when he turns to face the woman, moving away from us, dominance is transferred to her. Furthermore, we have changed from a close-up to a two-shot with minimal movement of the camera. Another example, this time from Letters from an Unknown Woman. Notice how the action is staged in depth, with elements layered at different points between the foreground and the background. In so doing, Ophüls is trusting the audience to read the shot and comprehend the situation presented, that the couple in the background are unaware that they are being watched. Compare that to a similar moment in Birdman, where Riggin is caught out. Here the audience is given the information in fragments. And whilst Birdman makes some attempts at depth staging, its insistent reliance upon close-ups means that there is often not enough room in the frame to capitalise on this depth, and it is reduced to whipping between different shots in a hyperactive approach to planned sequence. As we have seen, in this approach, information is compartmentalised, broken down into separate bits so as to make sure that the audience registers what they are being shown. As such, the difference between these two approaches is that one relies upon suggestion and requires the audience to be attentive, the other forces the viewer's attention.
Do you see? Do you see?
Yes, I see!
Whilst it is clear that there is often a sense of one-upmanship to this type of filmmaking, with filmmakers trying to outdo themselves in the length and complexity of the shots, there is undoubtedly something thrilling about a well-executed long take, especially in an age where the average length of a shot is rapidly decreasing. However, long takes are much more versatile than they are often given credit for. Indeed, while Birdman's technical achievements are highly laudable, its use of long takes should not be lionised as the ne plus ultra of that style. Not when compared with the wit, grace and invention of Max Ophüls.
My short runs better when it's clean. I was not myself last night. I ran a light without my registration, where the cops were bound to see, and you know me, already on probation.